Hi, I'm Kelly, and today I'm going to make friends with this water brush, which I'm not very accustomed to drawing and shading and painting with, but I want to be able to. So I'm going to do that. I'm just going to play with it while I chit-chat about all kinds of random things. Since this is an art channel, I'm going to chat first about World Watercolor Month and how I'm going to use World Watercolor Month in my own way. July is a really good month for me to do an art challenge because I don't have personally a lot of social things going on. And I'm going to personalize it just to what I want to learn. And I have not spent a lot of time drawing lately, and I want to do it in life. I want to do it quickly. So a water brush seems like the best of all worlds because if you're a watercolor urban sketcher, or you want to be or you're trying to be, it's just great because you already have your watercolor with you, right? And a lot of people use a water brush to fill in their drawings. Well, why not learn how to draw with it? And that way you can make your lines with whatever color of watercolor you want to make them with, and or just something that will blend in to your drawing in the end. So you don't necessarily have to have hard lines. I don't know. I think that's what I'm going to focus on for World Watercolor Month, but in all honesty, I'm not 100% sure. It's going to be very fluid, and if I'm not having fun with it, I'm not going to do it because I won't do it, right? I think learning art is a lot like play for children. Children learn the most when they're playing, and I think artists do too. Or at least this artist does. I'm going to do a 180 and talk about something different now. My friend Marion and I meet she's one of my oldest and dearest friends going back to our sophomore year in high school. And we meet for coffee once a month, and we've been doing it for about almost 2 years. And this year we decided we were going to take anything that has the name of the coffee shop that we went to, whether it's the little cozy that goes around the cup to keep you from burning your hands, or whether it's a sticker or something. And at the end of the year in December, we're going to do a little art project and incorporate all of those things into it. She's gotten really into journaling with another friend of hers, and she showed me some of the stuff they've been working on, and that's how this idea came about. So thanks, Linda. We wouldn't have thought of this without you. But anyway, yesterday Marion and I had coffee, and she recently finished her certification for this type of therapy. She's a therapist. For this type of therapy called Somatic Experiencing. She got introduced to this type of therapy after she had a traumatic experience. And I want to just emphasize what she told me is that everybody has traumatic experiences. It could be a car accident, it could be death of a loved one, it could be a big argument with somebody that came out of the blue, it could be divorce, it could be the loss of a job, or just any number of kinds of things that happen in real life. Everybody, And what happens is that our body, we're trained in our society we're trained to repress our reactions so that we can fit into society and not make other people uncomfortable, right? Which that has its place and it's a good thing. But we somehow got the wrong idea that we're not ever supposed to deal with it. We're just supposed to, pull ourselves up and carry on and don't let it get to you. Put on your game face, right? But the problem is that all that trauma gets stuck in our cells, in our bodies. And until we release it, it stays there, and it can cause a lot of problems. she says she wishes that everybody was taught how to process the trauma from an early age, because it can really kind of stunt people. Like, she thinks back to how long she's been dealing with some kinds of trauma, and boy, if she'd known about this in her 30s, she says it could have been really life-changing for her. And then I mentioned that, I think I kind of, in a way, got introduced to it in elementary school, because we had this gym teacher. I wish I could remember his name. He was really good. But he had all of us do a body scan one time. He had there were probably 12 or 15 of us in the class. And those sort of fold up, well, they sort of, what do you call that? They zigzag, and they fold up in a zigzag fashion. And there are those mats. Well, everyone had one, and we just laid down on the floor on these mats, and he walked us through a body scan. And I have always remembered that. And I think it's a good thing to teach your kids, if you can. Teach yourself. But I don't know. And plus, I have to say, in my 20s, I altered my conscience a bit often. So I'm not really uncomfortable dealing with hard subjects. I'll dive pretty deep into them. And so I think that's why I don't typically get stuff trapped, usually. I don't know. Anyway, we were talking about this, and I was telling her about this accident I had when I think I was about 3 years old, where I fell out of my crib and hit the side of a chest of drawers with my face right near my eye. If it had been a centimeter, it would have been really bad. But all my life I had this memory of them putting a sheet over my head. And like I said, I was only 3, so I just kind of put it off to, that's got to be some kind of manufactured memory that I have, because why would they do that? But 2 years ago, I had cancer in that same exact spot. And they had to biopsy it and then remove whatever cancer was there, and then biopsy it again until the cancer was gone. And they put a sheet over me. And part of me was like happy, because it validated this weird memory that I had that was just sort of disembodied from any other memory. And but anyway, for whatever reason, because maybe partly because of learning pain management techniques for childbirth, I started talking to my eye, all the skin around my eye where they were doing all this to me. And I was saying stuff like, it's okay. I'm here. I'm experiencing with you. Everything that's happening is supposed to happen. It's okay. I was like talking to my cells, telling them not to be afraid because it was okay. And I had no idea, but I was giving myself somatic experience therapy right then and there. And I thought that was really cool. Of course, when I got out to the car, because I didn't know that they were going to do all this stuff to me, so I was there by myself. And I went out to the car afterwards, and I just kind of fell apart and bawled my eyes out for about 15 minutes. And then I drove home. So it released that trauma, and I really have never been bothered by it, other than I'm not real crazy about anything to do with eyes. But I recently met somebody who told me about some surgery that she had that it was about her eye, and all of this stuff just kind of converged at the same time. And it was very interesting to me that it was like, what do you call that, when synchronicity? It was almost like a synchronistic coming together of all these events. And no, we were also talking about how holding space and being able to hold space for complicated and various emotions at the same time. Like, you can have really wonderful things happening to you, and at the same time, in another part of your life, something really bad is happening. And part of the somatic experiencing is learning to hold space for experiencing the joy that comes from the good things and the grief from whatever bad things happen, right? So anyway, I guess that's all I have to say about it, other than if you are having flashbacks or you're having PTSD problems, you might want to check out the Somatic Experiencing Therapy. And it has to, I think there's another one where you move your eyes rapidly. I'm not a therapist in any way, shape, or form, so look this stuff up on your own. It's just kind of fun to share what I learned, and if it resonates with you or connects with you, you can Google it and find information on it and explore it if it works, if it sounds like something that would work for you. So now I'm going to go back to World Watercolor Month again, and I'm going to tell you I have never participated in it. It's an annual thing. I think it was started by Doodle Wash, and I'm going to put links in the description for you because I'm not following it exactly. I'm going to do it my own way. But it's basically like a lot of other art challenges where there are prompts, and every day in July for 31 days, you follow the prompts and do a different painting every day. And I've decided to personalize it for myself, and like I said, I'm learning how to draw with this watercolor, with this waterbrush. And I've made a bunch of sketchbooks for myself. I've made 5 sketchbooks, and they all have 7 spreads in them, so I can, there are 5 weeks in July. Not quite 5 full weeks, but there are 5 weeks. So every day in each weekly sketchbook, I'm going to do a spread. And I may or may not post them because it's, I'm not that good at creating content. It gets in the way of making the art, and I'm 62 years old. I don't have time to fool around with it. If I want to do art, sometimes I have to do art. But I do like sharing things in this channel with you, and I have a lot of varied interests in art, but for the past few years it's been all about watercolor, and I've gotten involved in my local community, my local art community, through a nonprofit organization called the Urban Art House, and I love it there. They have open studio 2 times a week, and if you're a member, you can go in, and there's just like this big open space in the middle of the place where there's an art gallery, because every month they have a new show. And so there's always an art show going on, and so you can get inspired by the studio artists who have studios at the Urban Art House. And they also are so generous with their time, and they act as mentors to us, for those of us who want to explore showing and furthering our artistic career, which I do. And it's just a wonderful place, and so I spend a lot of time there. So during COVID and lockdown, I spent a lot more time on YouTube than I do now. But hey, subscribe, like the video. I do put stuff out, I just don't do it regularly. And I try to only put things out when I have something I think is of any value. And I used to do more art supply things that I liked. But I feel like there are a lot of people who do that. So it's going to be a mishmash. I don't know when I'm going to post. I don't know when I'm going to post. But hopefully it will be interesting to you. And I actually do have a little art supply, some teeny tiny palettes. And I filled those up, one with gouache and one with watercolor, because I thought that would be fun to take with me. And I haven't seen anyone else do any kind of a review of them or an open box, so it'll be really casual, and I'm getting that ready right now, so probably within the next couple days or a week I'll have that one ready, and so you might want to tune in for that. Oh, I have a little something that was really funny. I started trying to do fill like a palette, a wet palette, and I also years ago got this ceramic palette, and it has, I think, 16 wells around it, and then there's a big center area for mixing. And I didn't like it very well for watercolor, but I thought, boy, this would be really great for gouache, because for some reason I noticed that gouache will come out of plastic palettes more easily than it will come out of ceramic. So anyway, I'm looking around. I've got this I think it's like a 9 by 7 inch tiny wet palette that I got, and I thought, I wonder if that ceramic palette would fit in there, because I tried it with the paper and I'm not a big fan, but I thought maybe if I put the sponge in there and then put the ceramic palette on top of it and then just spritzed it and then covered it, I wondered if that sort of moist environment would keep it moister. And so I'm getting really excited about this, because I've never seen anyone do this, and I think I finally got a really original idea. So then I started watching Sara Burns' studio, because I don't have very much experience with gouache, just a little bit, like when I do mandalas and stuff. But anyway, and I love her channel. So there's a Sara in Scotland, and Sara Burns' studio. She, if you don't know who she is, like a lot of the people who watch my videos are people I know, and I know that they don't know about this channel or these two channels. So she's an American artist who married and became a citizen in Scotland, and she goes all over Scotland. She has a drone video camera, and it's so cinematic. It's just absolutely beautiful what she films in Scotland. And then she goes around in Scotland and does plein air, and just magnificent artist. So check her out. I'll put a link in the description. Sara Burns Studio and Sara in Scotland. But anyway, to get back to this, I started watching her videos to learn how she does more about how she uses her gouache in her palettes. And doggone it, she had that exact same palette, and she put it in a wet palette to keep it moist. And I thought, darn, if I do a video on this, it's going to look like I totally copied her. I did come up with it on my own, because I don't know. But I think that just goes to show, one, that there are very few original ideas, and two, if you come up with a good idea, chances are somebody else has come up with it also. So, and it could be that just validates that what you were doing could be a good thing. Anyway, enough of that. That was just kind of a funny how, on YouTube there are very few original ideas. But go check out Sara. Okay, now I want to talk just a little bit about what colors I was using. I thought it would be good, in order to draw, to figure out what kind of paint would make a good just overall sketching color. And so the first thing I tried was Lamp Black, Daniel Smith's Lamp Black. And it felt a little sticky, and I don't know, this is a brand new brush, it could be that. I don't know. But then I pulled out some Mission Gold. I don't have that much black paint, you guys. But then I pulled out Mission Gold Ivory Black. It came in a set that I bought a while ago. And I tried that, and that was okay. And then I tried, there's a Payne's Gray in this little set of paints that I have here. This is the palette that I usually take with me in the car. And I thought, I wonder if that Payne's Gray would work, because I remembered it being more of black, not blue. And it's Schmincke. And Schmincke has two Payne's Gray. One is Payne's Gray Blue, and one is just Schmincke Payne's Gray. And so what's in this palette is the Schmincke Payne's Gray. And I think I love it for sketching with just this water brush. And so I ordered a tube of it, and we'll see what happens. But and maybe I didn't need to, but what I find also is that if I have a kit set up, like, okay, this is my watercolor sketching kit, and it's packed up in a bag, and all the stuff I need is in there for that. And then if I have a go bag for Interurban, this stuff is always in that bag. But there might be things that overlap. But if I try to take one thing out and like put it in, if I make it go back and forth, then I don't know where it is half the time. So there might be some redundancy, and I think that's okay. Anyway, you guys, I will see you in the next video, and thank you so much for sticking with me this entire time. And I hope you're having a great time painting, and don't let the bastards get you down, okay? See you later. Love you. Bye.